What's up, guys? It's MMA Analyst here to give you my recap for UFC 137. Honestly, minus a couple low points, I think it was like an epic event. Number one, the main event, BJ Penn versus Nick Diaz. I only got like 14 minutes. Let's get right down to it. Damn. Diaz. Really, it came down to Diaz being able to maintain that high output of striking. He didn't stop. He just kept moving forward. In the first round, BJ Penn, he had his energy. He was ready to go. Now, I'm not going to pretend like, Nick Diaz didn't have a lot to do with why BJ Penn was out of energy in round two. But really, I think BJ, he clearly isn't where he needs to be with cardio. And there's a lot of fighters, top fighters, who will be out there and, fighting with Nick Diaz. He's going to hit you. He's going to hit you. He's going to do what he's got to do. But after 5 minutes of fighting with Diaz, if you're a top fighter, you shouldn't be coming out in round two dead tired like Diaz, like BJ Penn did. But it doesn't matter. Diaz did what Diaz does. But this time, he didn't do it to, whoever it may be. He did it to BJ Penn. Crazy fight. From the second round on to the end of the fight, it was just classic Nick Diaz. Classic Nick Diaz. With the body shots, the combos galore. I thought that BJ Penn would be able to... obviously, it all came down. At the end of the day, what's the word? The X factor, the thing that mattered the most in this fight, considering that they both are very good strikers, considering that they both got very good ground game. What mattered most in this fight was BJ Penn's cardio, which is always the big question, And I think that was what did him in. Also, the 400 punches that Nick Diaz threw. Anyways, amazing fight. Also epic. Really, to be honest, I kind of hope this is BJ Penn's last fight. And even if it is, it's like one of the most epic retirements of all time. He's just like, I don't want to go home like this. I'm done. And people are probably going to say he's a quitter and all this, whatever, whatnot. Like I said before this fight, BJ Penn has zero reason to fight a day in his life. No reason at all. He was born into wealth in Hawaii. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've been to Maui. And I've been to Hawaii. And if you got parents that got millions of dollars and you live in Hawaii and you choose to go out there and train and cut weight and get punched in the face for a living, that right there, like these other guys, a lot of these guys fight because they feel like they have to, or they fight because, because they really want to, or I don't know what. But this guy, for him to even have fought for as long as he did, to fight who he did, when he did, clearly there's no such thing as a quitter when it comes to BJ Penn. Maybe he didn't train the way he needed to. Maybe he needed to stay at 155 and try and run that division. Maybe he needed to adapt a little bit over the years. Maybe he needed to just fight like these other guys. But obviously nobody wanted to see that. Nobody wanted to see him going for all types of... I said I only got 15 minutes. Anyways, look, the point is, I do hope this is BJ Penn's last fight. If it is, you did your thing. The thing about him is he wanted to be known. He wanted to go down as like the best fighter of all time, like the most badass fighter. And his whole career was about like just pride. And his whole career was about being known as a fighter. And obviously he's not going to go down as the best of all time or any of that craziness. But he's definitely going to go down in history, at least in MMA history. And he did his thing. There you go. Nick Diaz. Man, I got to get this video done so I can watch the post-fight recap or the play-by-play, the commentary, the post-fight conference. Boom, there you go. Anyways, y'all. Crazy fight. Mad props to Nick Diaz. I'm just going to put it like this. I'm going to put out a video soon, but I think and Diaz is my second favorite fighter. My first favorite fighter is Anderson Silva. I think the high points for Nick Diaz, unfortunately, may be coming to an end. A very slow, boring end. And it hurts me to say that, but I'll get that. I'll get to that in my video when I kind of do my Nick Diaz versus the top 5 wrestlers at the welterweight division. Matt Mitrione versus Chet Congo. Good. Let's keep this short. Y'all are whack. I mean, clearly here's what happened, I think. Both of these guys wanted to counter. First things first, they both wanted to counter. But they wanted to counter with takedowns. It was like, I'm going to counter with punches and I'm going to counter with takedowns. Congo trained this whole time, I guarantee you. He was like, man, as soon as Matt Mitrione comes in here, whoop, I'm going to put him on his back. And Mitrione was like, yo, as soon as Congo get in here, man, whoop, I'm going to put him on his back. And for the first 2 rounds, he was like, man, he keeps backing up. And they were like, chase him. You gotta chase him. He wasn't expecting Congo to be so damn lax with his game plan. So come the 3rd round, we only heard Mitrione's corner. Yo, you gotta get over there, and when you clinch, put him on his back. And we didn't hear what they said over to Congo, but it was probably, when you get over there, you got to put him on his back. Eh, wee, wee, yeah, boo, boo. Whatever they said. I guarantee you, because what happened? Mitrione's like, all right, let's put him on his back. Ran out there, boop, and he got put on his own back. That is what I initially thought would happen. I did predict that Chet Congo would be going for the takedowns and whatnot. For my betting picks, I actually kind of did a 180 though, because I do know that Congo does have that problem with the chin, and I know that they both, Congo does fight kind of chilled back and whatnot, but I did not expect for Matt Mitrione to literally bounce around for 2 rounds and not throw anything. If he throws anything in those first 2 rounds, he could potentially win those 2 rounds. Horrible. Mirko Cro Cop versus Roy Nelson. Mad props to Mirko Cro Cop. It's tough the way it went down, the way it did, but I mean, he's been done for years. He's been absolutely done for years. It came down to the 3rd round, and Nelson got the stoppage. Good fight. He quit playing, dog. You're not getting a title shot. You're nowhere near a title shot, especially if Dos Santos wins. You already got absolutely pummeled by him, so stop that. Cro Cop, 99% of fighters wish that they could get to the point. Oop, I hit the mic. Where they get to the point where they're 37 years old, 70 fights, they still got their brain and their body intact. They got mad money, mad respected in their home country. They walk around like a superhero for the rest of his life, even though he went 3-4 in the UFC. It doesn't matter. He's not begging anybody for money. He's not depending on the UFC to pay for his car payments and stuff like that, like a lot of the other fighters are. He's in a situation that very few fighters are in, and if they don't fix themselves, are not ever going to be in. They're just going to be broke, and then they're going to stop fighting and be like, I need to keep fighting, but it's not going to happen. But anyways, mad props to Mirko Cro Cop. Thank you for, all your fights, pride, the K1, everything. You did your thing. The UFC stuff, we're going to forgive you for that. All right? Scott Jorgensen versus Jeff Curran. Good win for Jorgensen, as expected. Hioki versus George Root. I'll tell you now, Hioki didn't lose, but he sure as hell didn't impress anybody. The thing about it is, it's not like Hioki is just like Japan's last action hero. It's also like he's ranked number 2 or 3, 1, 2, 3. 2 and 3. He's ranked like on every site worth mentioning. So to go out there against George Root and look as rough as he did, to drop the first round, to barely get away with this fight, he looked bad. He looked really bad. He got the win, and it was a close fight, and it was a judge's decision. So you gotta say, okay, but don't worry. Asian fighters, don't think that this is something new. It's not gonna happen to you. You have to finish the fight. Dennis Siver versus Donald Cerrone. Donald Cerrone killing it. It's just straight killing it. I want to go back to Nick Diaz real quick. The difference between Nick Diaz and Chael Sonnen, for all you people out there who's noticed that I love Nick Diaz's style and calling out, Nick Diaz really is crazy. That's the thing. I can't hate on Nick Diaz because he really is like, where are you, GSP? And he got under GSP skin too. GSP never reacts. He was like, ooh, I'm scared. No. GSP, He got under GSP's skin with that. So I like his style because he's real. If somebody actually told me that Chael Sonnen actually believed all this garbage he's talking, or if Chael Sonnen went after the good boy, right? Like Nick Diaz goes after the guy, doesn't matter who. He goes, he goes after the most popular guy in the UFC. Everybody's booing him for him. He's going to be the bad guy. I mean, he doesn't care. Chael Sonnen only goes after, he didn't go after Brian Stan. He's not going to go after anybody that's popular, like in the sense of like American popular. He's just going to go after the guys that don't speak English, that are from Brazil, dark-skinned dudes. Anyways, I'm going to leave that alone. Donald Cerrone, you killed it. You went out there, beautiful double kick, leg kick, head kick. Everything he did was on point. Donald Cerrone's really making a case for himself. I mean, he's got a guy in front of him, obviously Ben Henderson. He has 2 losses to him, but both these guys are killing it in the UFC. Mad props. Keep doing your thing. Y'all are making the WEC folks really proud. Tyson Griffin, you're an idiot. I hope this guy gets knocked out of the UFC and never let back in. I'm talking never let back in. I cannot stand these idiotic, retarded fighters who go out. This guy has been doing so well in his career, okay? He beat Uriah Faber. He beat Dwayne Bang Ludwig. He beat Clay Guida, Thiago Tavares, Gleason Tebow, Marcus Aurelio, Hermes Frank. He's beaten all these guys. Only people he had lost to up until his loss to Evan Dunham, which was kind of a shock to everybody at the time, was Sean Shirk and Frankie Edgar. And how did he do it? Dog, you're a freaking midget wrestler. Okay, that's it. Now, it's not like you're a one-dimensional striker who needs to learn wrestling. You're a one-dimensional wrestler. So what are you doing getting knocked out by Takanori Gomi? I'm glad that happened. I mean, I was rooting for Takanori Gomi. But what are you doing going up against Bart Pelishevsky trying to strike with him? Not even going for one takedown. Get your ass out of the UFC, okay? See if the UFC is going to be happy about you doing all this striking and getting knocked out over and over again. Like, get him out of here, man. Just get him out of here. I'm tired of these little short-ass midgets who won't fight the way their body's telling them to fight. You're facing such an uphill battle with facing somebody that is a much better striker than you, mad knockout power, really good reach, and your strength is putting him on his back, and you're out there trying to counter him. You know what I mean? Like, y'all need to fight according to how you're supposed to fight. All right? You're a midget. Okay? You are a wrestler. Your striking is whack. Start wrestling again and come back when you got a game plan that will win you some fights and not mess up my picks like this. Anyways, good win, Bart Pelishevsky. Brandon Vera, I gotta get this done. Brandon Vera, congratulations. You won. You did what you had to do. Ramsey in the Gem, good win over Danny Downs. Danny Downs, get him out of the UFC. Get him out. That little kid, what's he doing? He came in, looked like he got shot in the leg. Showing up with a bullet hole in his leg. I don't know what's wrong with him. Skinny little geeky dude. Doesn't belong in the UFC. Get him out. Chris Camozzi, I did see that. Good win for Carmone, but you're not Anderson Silva. And I did not see Clifford Starks, but from what I looked into it, he probably just got takedowns over and over again and laid on Justin Jacoby. There you go. UFC 137 MMA. It's important. Peace.